Hey guys, um, this is Mandy Lynn, and my second time, or third, recording this because my mic messed up. So this is inZOI's sneak peek at the June gameplay update. For all that is interested in the June update, it is June 13th, mark your calendars, use your phones, put in your phone, set an alarm for it. Go bananas. But before we hop into this video, like, share, comment, subscribe, please. It means the world. Now, let's hop into it. So they've done a whole heap of stuff, which I personally think it's for the better. You will see a game installing to the side, ignore it. So what they said is, before we dive in, I'd like to once again sincerely apologize to all the creators who were eagerly awaiting the May update, such as myself. I was waiting all May, and then I was like, they're not going to do it. And then we got the letter from Kijun and saying they postponed it, and I was wondering like how far into June it was going to be, and it's not that far. Moving forward, we'll do our best to share updates in a timely manner. inZOI's June update is scheduled for release on June 13th, so next Friday, which is so excited. I'm probably going to live stream, and if anybody wants to watch, you may follow over there, or I can do it on YouTube. Comment down below. And they're including the modding features such as ModKit. The key features from the roadmap revealed during the showcase, which I think that included a city. It had something to do with cats. I don't remember specifically because it's been so long since the showcase. And then there's other various new content additions, system improvements, bug fixes, and this is just a sneak peek of what they're doing. This isn't the full thing, and I think it's really awesome. So what we're expected to see is, so far, updates to family and relationship systems. I don't know if you're like me, but I did not like the way you had to do a family in inZOI. Because you have to essentially get married and then start the family. And that takes like one ZOI day to get married and all that stuff. But it was just a hassle if you just wanted to be a single mom story. Which I did put that in Discord. Because I wanted to have a single mom story. And I couldn't do it. And it just felt impossible. So, one second. Sorry. Still drinking coffee. There's more ways to build families. ZOIs can now have children regardless of marital status, which I'm so happy about. So happy about. Just that sentence alone. One new method of doing so is adoption. I'm happy they're putting adoption in there, just like The Sims has adoption. I think it's needed. If you just don't want to, if you want a single mom story, it's just more convenient. So adoption was originally planned to have various prerequisites. However, to allow players to form families more freely, we choose to simplify the system by minimizing the required conditions. In addition, you'll be able to select a ZOI with your desired traits and have a child using their genetic information through medical procedures. Now I'm going to pause and not finish that. I want to know what this means. Does it mean like the science baby in Sims? it's hard not to compare inZOI and Sims, but is it that way? Because they're talking about medical procedures. Like, is this like an IVF type of situation? Like, what are we thinking? I have no clue until I play it next Friday, but I'm psyched. We hope these features give you the freedom to create families in your own way. Now let's move on to teenage romance. Now, previously teens could not have any sort of romance with other teens. So now they can have romantic interactions with another, which is needed. And then they said, that said, looking back, I personally wish we could have made teenager and adult ZOIs appear more visually distinct from other, which I agree. Adults and teenagers look way too much alike. Maybe they'll fix that in the future. And then romantic relationships with everybody. Well, everyone. I thought this was kind of funny, but I'm not sure what it entails. A feature that was still in development at the time of early access release. ZOIs can now form romantic relationships with any other ZOI in the city. To enable this feature, go to the Create a ZOI screen and click the Change Gender Identity button to adjust your ZOI's settings. So I'm assuming this could mean your ZOI could like either gender is what I'm getting. And then it says sending the first text. Player ZOIs can now start the conversation via text message. Now, if you played inZOI since it dropped in Steam as an early access game, you should know that we have not been able to send a text. We can only receive the text. So this is pretty big stuff they're giving us in June, and I'm excited. I just hope there's supposed to be an update for August, which I hope it doesn't get pushed back for like September, which I wouldn't be mad, but in order for things to be right, pushing back is necessary. I know that sometimes. Anyway, while we won't be able to write custom messages, I think that's still in development, but your ZOI can send text to other ZOIs to make plans with them as the relationship grows. And then they hope to develop a feature someday that allows you to write your own text messages as well, which we've played around with it, it's in development. And then a quality of life simulation and improvements. So they've made changes to the UI size settings. In response to player feedback regarding UI visibility, we've added a setting with 3 different options that allow you to adjust the size of UI elements and text, which I've been saying, we need a size thing for the text. I have not necessarily the elements. It's just like when you get that pop-up, you turn off the timer down the bottom, but I need the text a little bit bigger for my personal taste. I think I've done that in The Sims as well. I don't think you can in The Sims, but I wish you could in The Sims, because there's just these little tiny pop-ups in The Sims. I've noticed as I've restarted playing The Sims. But this video isn't about The Sims. Anyway, cheats. So they're adding more cheats into the game. So currently, I think we only have the money one. So I'm wondering what other cheat they're going to put in there, or the number of cheats they're going to put in. So they said the number of cheats is while the number of cheats currently available is somewhat limited, we will work to add more in future updates. So I love that you're giving us cheats. I accidentally used the money cheat when I first started playing inZOI. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't read. I was just excited to play. And, sorry. I was holding a yawn in. Anyway. lifestyle based changes to the body weight and muscle mass, which I like. I want realistic things, because in The Sims, if you make your sim one size, they normally stay that size for quite some time. And it seems like inZOI wants to make it more realistic, and like if your sim doesn't eat your Zoe doesn't eat healthy, it's gonna affect their body weight. If they work out a ton, they're gonna gain muscle mass. So it says Zoes will now undergo changes in physique based on their lifestyle choices, offering a more realistic and dynamic gameplay experience. Overeating will cause Zoes to gain weight. I love that. And working out will cause them to build muscle. Now, there's something about exchanging items, I guess, between Zoes, which I think is cool because, to be honest, I was tired of receiving gifts a lot and then having to sell them. So it says, Zoes can now exchange items with each other, opening the door for more interactions. You'll be able to gift, give, or sell items from your Zoe's bag, which I think is awesome. Sorry, yawned again. Now there's new items and creative tools. So there's over 20 new character studio assets added. New items for character customization have been added, including highly requested additions to hair-related assets, as well as new outfits and accessories. I'm so excited because you go to create the cast and you just get the same old, same old. So it's nice to get some new stuff. Over 100 new furniture items added. More than 100 unique furniture items have been added, including items for kitchens, bedrooms, and babies. Now, on the babies part, I hope they are usable, because the baby swing you can't use, the baby bouncer you can't use. It's just frustrating. Not as frustrating as infants in Sims 4. That's just a whole nother headache. So, in addition, they're also making overall improvements, both big and small, to sound setting, canvas animation, simulation, and other parts of the game. So, they hope that the June 13th update makes our experience with inZOI even more enjoyable than we've already enjoyed. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, so hold on one second. I'm trying to make sure. Okay, so I wanted to make sure this was still recording. So my personal experience, I started really getting into inZOI, and then I ran into a few bugs. I did tell them about the bugs in Discord. Whether or not they fix it, that's them. We also need a new way to move adult children out without losing the family aspect in the relationship and all that stuff. Sorry. So I think there needs to be an easier way to move out Zoes, especially if you have a family relationship with them, and then you lose that relationship once you move them out. So that's something I really need to write down and put in Discord. And something else I feel like needs put in there eventually is like, if you and your partner Zoe gets divorced, which I've had a Zoe divorce. and kept the child, moved him out. There should be some sort of child support until that Zoe has aged up into a young adult. I feel like there should be child support or alimony depending on the years you've been with the Zoe. I feel like they could add that in at some point during the development. I think that's a good idea. But like, if you want any more inZOI content and news, Sugar Zoe posts a lot about inZOI news. This is my first actual video, I think, posting news for inZOI, about inZOI. Sometimes, you know, she tends to catch up if she's behind on videos, but there's Sugar Zoe, I think there's Fantasia, I think I'm saying her name right. She does Sims 4 plus inZOI. So there's like a couple that I know of that does, like Sugar Zoe does strictly inZOI stuff. So if you're wanting more inZOI stuff, check out that channel. But please follow, subscribe, like all the things. Comment down below, and are you excited for the new update? Like, I will probably stream, and then I'll post that stream on YouTube as well for anybody that missed it. I'm not like dead set with my schedule right now because I have 4 weeks of school left. I don't get out till July 4th, so I have this whole month and then the first week of July. Yeah. But until I can get a set schedule again, my streaming schedule's been a little iffy. I haven't streamed, but I've been posting on YouTube. So comment down below if you want to see like a YouTube stream or a Twitch stream. Like, what are you thinking? That's it for now. I hope everybody has a lovely day wherever you are. And I have 2 legacy challenge episodes coming Saturday and Sunday. So comment as to who you'd like to see essentially take over for Gen 2. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and a comment, and please share, subscribe, all the stuff.